The primary goal of this video is to stimulate deep thought and ignite meaningful conversations surrounding the traditional doctrines of Abrahamic religions. Instead of resorting to criticism or disdain, the video encourages viewers to critically examine the long-standing narratives and consider alternative perspectives. It challenges individuals to reevaluate their own beliefs and embrace a more open-minded approach to interpreting faith. By promoting analytical thinking and fostering intellectual curiosity, the video seeks to enhance our understanding of how these religions shape our individual identities and impact society at large.
Enoch did not die. The scriptures reveal that he was not found because Elohim took him away. It was said that he walked with the One, Elohim, and then he was no longer among men. The heavens opened, and Enoch passed beyond them. What was revealed to him was so destabilizing that it would shock the world. And then they banned his book from the Bible. Its content may be so disturbing that the powers inside the church feared it. And yet today, it is absent from most Bibles. And yet, today, many priests and pastors fear believers knowing its content. What Enoch witnessed has been found in some Ethiopian scriptures, preserved where other traditions chose silence, not because it was unknown, but because it was uncomfortable, because it speaks too clearly about heavenly rebellion, divine judgment, and the fate of kings and powers. It places God, angels, and cosmic law where they belong, and exposes what happens when that order is violated. This book was not written lightly. It does not flatter humanity. It does not soften judgment. It does not place men at the center of creation. Unfortunately, in the Book of Enoch, you will notice something else. You will not find the original Hebrew divine names, not Elohim, not Yahweh, not El Shaddai or El Elyon. Instead, you will encounter titles like the Lord of Spirits, the Most High, the Holy Great One, and the Head of Days. And this is not accidental. The versions that survive passed through translation, preservation, and theological control. Names that once carried power, specificity, and ancient resonance were rendered into titles, softened for transmission, stripped of linguistic force. This is why modern translations speak of God, where the ancient texts spoke of Elohim, a plural, complex term that does not fit neatly into later doctrine.
The Book of Enoch stands as one of the most important non-canonical Jewish texts of the Second Temple period. Its earliest major section, the Book of the Watchers, was composed in the 3rd or 2nd century BCE. Portions of it circulated widely enough to be quoted in the New Testament epistle of Jude, and to leave Aramaic fragments among the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was treated as authoritative scripture in some Jewish and early Christian circles, yet it was ultimately excluded from the Hebrew Bible and from the canons of most Christian churches. Only the Ethiopian Orthodox tradition retained the complete work, known as First Enoch, as part of its broader scriptural collection. The text is structured in 5 major sections: the Book of the Watchers, the Book of Parables or Similitudes, the Astronomical Book, the Book of Dream Visions, and the Epistle of Enoch. Together they present a coherent cosmic drama. Angelic beings called Watchers descend to Earth, take human wives, and transmit forbidden knowledge, metallurgy, cosmetics, astrology, and the arts of war. Their offspring, the Nephilim, bring violence and corruption. The earth itself cries out. Archangels are commissioned to bind the rebels, announce judgment, and prepare for a final reckoning. Later sections introduce the figure of the Son of Man, or Elect One, seated in glory before the Head of Days, a heavenly judge whose description would later resonate with gospel language. The astronomical book offers a detailed 364-day calendar and cosmology. The dream visions and epistle deliver historical reviews and ethical warnings addressed to future generations. Why the text was set aside. Canon formation was never a single modern decision. Jewish authorities in the centuries after the Second Temple period settled on a collection that emphasized texts associated with Moses and the prophets, and that avoided extensive angelic speculation of the kind found in Enoch. Early Christian communities likewise formed their New Testament and Old Testament canons through a gradual process of reception, usage in liturgy, and theological discernment. By the time of the major councils and the work of figures such as Athanasius, Jerome, and the rabbis, First Enoch was already outside the emerging mainstream collections. Some church fathers, including Tertullian, valued it. Others treated it with caution or rejection. The reasons were both literary and theological. Questions of authorship and date, the detailed naming and ranking of angels, the graphic accounts of heavenly rebellion, and a cosmology that placed judgment in a cosmic architecture rather than solely through the institutions of temple or church. The claim that modern theology tried to hide the book therefore misstates the historical process. The decisive exclusions occurred in antiquity. What modern scholarship did was the opposite of concealment. The Ethiopic manuscripts were brought to Europe in the 18th and 19th centuries. Critical editions and translations followed. The discovery of Aramaic fragments at Qumran in 1947 confirmed the text's antiquity and circulation. Today, First Enoch is studied in universities, available in multiple scholarly translations, and treated as a primary source for understanding Second Temple Judaism, early apocalyptic thought, and the background of certain New Testament ideas. Far from being suppressed, it is one of the best documented extra-canonical works of its period. The substance of the warning. If the Book of Enoch functions as a warning, the warning is internal to the text itself, rather than a later conspiracy theory. The Watcher's rebellion is framed as a violation of cosmic order. Knowledge is transmitted without the wisdom or restraint necessary to use it rightly. The result is violence, the corruption of the earth, and a cry that reaches heaven. Judgment is not postponed indefinitely. It is enacted through the binding of the rebellious powers and the eventual vindication of the righteous. The later sections reinforce the same pattern. History moves toward accountability. The arrogant are brought low, and a heavenly figure of authority executes justice. This pattern can be read on several levels. Historically, it reflects the anxieties of a period marked by foreign domination, internal religious conflict, and rapid cultural change. Symbolically, later interpreters, including some modern readers influenced by Jungian thought, have treated the narrative as a map of consciousness, the descent of higher powers into matter, the birth of hybrid and destructive forces when knowledge outruns moral capacity, and the necessity of judgment and reintegration. The text itself, however, presents these events as objective cosmic history rather than psychological allegory. Its authors intended to describe real heavenly beings, a real judgment, and real consequences for the earth. Forgotten or simply marginalized. Certain themes in Enoch did become less prominent in mainstream Jewish and Christian theology after the canon was closed. Detailed angelology with personal names and jurisdictions, The explicit identification of the Son of Man as a pre-existent heavenly figure, and a calendar that diverged from later rabbinic and Christian practice all stood at some distance from the dominant traditions that emerged. In that limited sense, aspects of the text were marginalized. Yet marginalization is not the same as deliberate modern suppression. The Ethiopian Church preserved the complete work. Scholars recovered and analyzed it. Popular interest has grown in recent decades precisely because the text is accessible and provocative. The enduring power of First Enoch lies in its uncompromising insistence that knowledge carries moral weight, that rebellion against order produces cascading harm, and that justice is ultimately cosmic rather than merely institutional. Whether one regards the book as inspired scripture, valuable ancient literature, or a window into the religious imagination of the Second Temple period, its central drama remains clear. When the boundaries between heaven and earth are violated, and when technical power advances without corresponding wisdom, the earth suffers and judgment follows. That warning did not require modern theologians to hide it. The text itself states it with stark clarity.